Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chaosville with Bedmon Incorporated. Today is going to be an interesting episode, because there's an item that I want to make for the B Lab, which is called the player detector. Now there's a few different ways that you can detect players in Feed the Beast. There's the 3 different kinds of player detector. One of them is from Steve's carts. You give it to a minecart so it can detect players, usually to shoot at them. Another one is from Railcraft, which detects when there's a player inside of a minecart. The player detector from Computercraft mostly just acts like a button, but it gives more details to a computer. And this is the one that we actually want, which is the player detector, unfortunately, from GregTech, which you give it power, and it will actually detect certain, according to very specific guidelines, like you or anyone else and that kind of thing, within a fairly large radius. That's what we want. And the reason we want it is because it outputs a redstone signal when that happens, and we can use that to enable or deactivate the storage monitors and whatnot inside the B Lab and save power if we need to. Depending on I can't recall what the specific radius is, but it might be enough to also allow us to store power when there's just no one in the main foyer area. Look at me using big words. Unfortunately, as I just remember, I'm in cheat mode from testing this whole stuff. Unfortunately for us, however, it requires some fairly esoteric components. This isn't too bad, except for the computer cube, which requires 4 different kinds of thing. Oh, the joy we'll have. At least we can use an advanced machine block for that, which I could already pretty much put together. So this episode is predominantly look at lying putting together recipes to stick into Newton. The bright side is Applied Energy Sticks makes this very, very, very easy for us once we've all finished it, but the problem is actually getting to that point. So I have a list of, I think, about 8 things that I need to make recipes for. And the first of those is the Advanced Machine Block, and I put a store of patterns in here, so let's start getting to work. Let's see, we're going to need a machine block, I believe, which I already have a recipe for, thankfully. And that will make our furnaces light up. We're going to need 2 advanced alloys, but we don't need the one when we're making the recipe for it. And we're going to need 2 carbon plates. Whoop, not a car. Although I'm sure that's the name of a Game of Thrones character. Okay, and where is our machine block? Perfect. Thank you, Newton. And we then go over to our pattern encoder, and we need alloy, machine block, carbon fiber, and that gives us an advanced machine block, which we can then stick in, and that's one less thing on our road to making a player detector. Although, who knows, maybe if we actually need to use GregTech much more often later down the line, we'll be able to put more use to these ingredients. Okay, next on the list is the computer monitor. GregTech has its own proprietary computer monitors, because apparently no one else is good enough. So let's see, the computer monitor we want is this one. Displays things. I think we have 1 aluminum, Greg. So we don't have to make that. Lime drop, don't know if we have any cactus. Indigo, lapis we can do. That's red, and that's glowstone. So let's see what we have in supply. Any cactus. We have some cactus green. And we mix that with bone meal, if I'm not mistaken. Which we probably don't have any in stock, but we can make that way. And yep, that gets us lime. And dye. Yeah, it doesn't show all of it, but that works enough. We also need some indigo, which I thankfully have a little bit of. You get these from a very specific kind of flower. I don't know if you can make it from bees. You probably can. You can make almost all of the dyes from bees, which is, if anything, one of the more realistic things that you can get from the bees. A bit of rose and aluminum, Greg. Aluminum is very hard. Well, this is aluminium. This is how it should be pronounced. It's a little hard to get because you only get it from sodalite or bauxite ore, which doesn't exist for us here. I think you can get it from bauxite and sodalite bees, because why not? But the only reason I have some is because I had some spare clay running around. And let's see, we also need some glowstone and a glass pane. Okay, so this should be another recipe. I expanded the machines, if you can see, you can just see on the left. So now we can automate the plate bender. And I just need to try and remember which way these go. There wasn't more than one recipe, so I presume these are actually sensitive. And I also made the assembly machine, which is another part of GregTech. The last two machines, well, the last three machines in that list are all GregTech. A little annoying. Okay, the next one is the data control circuit. I'm not 100% sure if we can make this one. Yep, there you are. Yep, because this requires iridium, which is more than a little bit tricky to get, because it requires iridium ingots, which you get by finding iridium ore. Do I actually have any iridium inside this? I'm pretty sure I've encountered it at some point. Nope, none of it. So we can't make that recipe then. But we also need the data storage circuit and the data orb. Yeah, data orb. Fairly straightforward. So that's one of the automations we need to do for the assembling machine. And that requires 8 emeralds and an advanced circuit. So let's set Newton away making an advanced circuit. And take a bit of stock on how many emeralds we have. 23. I have almost no idea how we have that many, but apparently we do. Okay, and circuit. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a slowdown on making these things at the moment. Mostly because we have Newton making everything and anything we could possibly want, and he's still not that big of a Mac right now. So, things slow down. And also, we don't really have much in the way of advanced machines. I imagine probably Williams Warehouse will be the second best place to stop from having manufacturing. And then we'll probably have some kind of more dedicated processing area for making things. Which will then, in turn, feed to Williams Warehouse anyway, but it will. Yeah, I'm filming this at about quarter to midnight. I had planned to get it done a lot earlier, but as it turns out, there was a lot more base work to get done with GregTech, which was a little bit of a pain. So hang on, that'll get us. That's what we need, but there's a slight problem, which is that the pattern encoder can't hold recipes. So we actually need to do this again, and I just remembered that. My fault. Yep, and it's getting dark, but fortunately, I believe Newton is fully charged. The main slowdown right now is just getting the rubber, because there's 2 overclockers in the macerator down there, but there's none in the compressor, and they're all base level, so we don't have much trouble. Well, we don't have much choice there. And oh boy, that's going to take a while. And I'm not sure, I think you can apply overclockers to this by shift right-clicking them with them. Greg has a kind of a weird way to go for things. For being an extension of Industrial Craft, you would think GregTech would actually, like, have a bit more congruity with it, but no. I think his name is, like, Gregorius on the server, on the forums and whatnot, but very annoying. Okay, well, while we're waiting on that, we shall grab the advanced circuit and some more emeralds. Whoop. Have we just lost power? Or have I just lost connection? There we go. I also made some emerald pipes, because I was doing a bit more tinkering with the lava engine. To try and get it to properly... Okay, well, we should see them when they come through here. To try and get it to properly divide the phosphor and sand between the two squeezers. And the way that the emerald transport pipe works is you can program it with a sequence of things. Usually just as filters. But it has the advanced thing that if it can't find an item in a sequence, it won't go to the next one. It will wait until it can get that first item out. So, if it has no phosphor, then it doesn't continue trying to pull it out, and it doesn't just pull out sand continuously. And similarly, if it runs out of sand, it won't try to pull out the phosphor either. Which makes it very handy. So I just have that pumping into a router, which means it gets divided between the two squeezers, which isn't ideal, but has the advantage that it's always pulling out in the right ratio, which means that the items are always going at the squeezer in the right ratio, so every two runs of 2 sand and 2 phosphor and 4 phosphor still ends up properly divided, which is good. So it means that the squeezers are still getting full of stuff, but they're at least only actually getting full of stuff in ratio. Yay, come on, Greg. Greg likes to make a lot of things take a very long time, which is a really big pain. As noted, I wanted to get this started a lot earlier, and then I had to make a whole bunch more stuff. Okay, and that makes those. Make that. Thank you. Okay, and let's go tell this to our assembly machine interface. Which presently has nothing, because I only found out I need it before I made this, so I had to go through all the trouble of making that. And it requires all sorts of things like a conveyor module and whatnot. And some more Gregs. I'm definitely glad that I messed with the mod folders to make them into Gregs instead of plates. Just to show that, yes, Greg is responsible. Okay, and the next thing on our list is an energy flow circuit. The data orb, I think, requires the data circuit as well. Are we going to get to see that? Oh, it's because I was trying to type into that. Okay. Energy flow. There it is. Okay, what do we need for this? Oh, this is another one we can't make because it requires iridium plates and it requires tungsten. Same problem with tungsten. Which is, you get it from tungsten ingots, which you get in an alloy smelter. I think. No, you get it from the dust, which you get from tungsten ore and tungstate ore. Now, I think tungstate you can only find in the end. And tungsten ore is, again, another one that we can't find. But we can at least figure out the Lapotron crystal that's in there. Yep, there you are. Okay, so you need a energy crystal, 2 electronic circuits, and lazurite dust or lapis. That we can definitely accommodate. Do we actually have energy crystals in here? No, we don't, so we need another recipe for that as well. Yay! Oh, the one thing I remember is you can also use sapphires. But I don't know if we have any of those sapphires either, because I don't think they've actually been spawning around here. Nope, we have a massive ton of them. Okay, we'll use those. If we need to, we'll just make another backup recipe for that later. And we're going to need... Oh, we have another advanced circuit. Strange. I must have plugged 2 into that. Okay, so we need a regular circuit and we need some lapis. Which fortunately we have quite a bit of. In fact, I've even taught Newton how to make more emeralds out of lapis blocks, which might be why we have so many. Except I don't think I've told him autonomically to do that. Hey. Okay, so quarter of an hour in and I've still just been making recipes. Not even particularly advanced recipes at that. Okay, and the GregTech computer cube we cannot make because I need to apparently get down to the bees and whatnot, making more metal making bees. That'll be interesting too. Because we need iridium and we need tungsten and all that. But oh well, I suppose I had to do this eventually. There isn't really all that much reason, like, all of that much need to, ensure that the power usage at the B-Lab is as minimal as possible. It's just more of an efficiency note. Oh, there we go. That's our control circuit. Well, our electronic circuit. It's just sort of a nice little thing, and it's really cool if you walk into the place and you just see these, like, monitors light up. Okay, that is our Labotron crystal. If we absolutely need to, I'll make a couple more recipes later for it. Okay, so with that in mind, I had a slight accident with one of the routers when I was trying to see if I could just suck things out of everything with one of them, but it then just started sucking out of the Mac as well as, like, the storage drives. So everything's a bit muddled here. But let's see, the ones I've added today are all of these ones. So I had to make 8 different recipes before I even started this episode. So that was fun. Was that 8 actually? Nope, 6, because I forgot I just made these 2. And fun fact, Greg has also changed the mixed metal ingots for making the metal alloys as well, which means that you have to make tin plates and Gregs and whatnot. It turns out I actually need a bit more tin. Bit of an annoyance. Okay, so what if anything can we actually make? Oh boy, Labotron pacts and stuff. Let's take a look at those. Which we can't do inside that. Labotronic energy orb requires iridium and 8 Labotron crystals. And the Labotron pack requires a Labotronic energy orb, as well as some superconductors and an energy flow circuit, which again we can't make, and more iridium. So it doesn't look like we're going to be upgrading our lab pack anytime soon. Yep, tungsten. All of these wonderful things that we have no way of getting at the moment. But there is one thing that I took a look at, which is this industrial electrolyzer. This is how I got the aluminium, as it should be called, to actually make everything. Well, to make one of those recipes at least. Which is that you can fill it with water and you'll get some compressed air and some hydrogen cells. You can fill it with electrolyzed water cells, which I accidentally made by accident, to get a compressed air cell and a hydrogen cell. There's 44 different recipes here, and they all make mostly the same kind of stuff. But we can also make a few other things. Some of these are actually like fuel items. So if we give it sugar there, it'll give us more carbon as well. And let's just see if we can find anything that is particularly useful. That's where I've been getting the aluminium, which is handy. It was a byproduct as far as I was concerned, but I used that when I was putting together a lithium boiler system. Clay dust into 2 carbon. Who'da thunk it? Ash into 1 carbon. We might actually have a use for that. I'm not sure how many things you can use carbon for. Pulverized obsidian into magnesium, iron, a little bit of iron, silicon, and compressed air. Quite why they keep you having the compressed air, I don't know. It's basically just a couple extra empty cells for no particular reason. Wait, didn't we just pass that? Oh, one's pulverized, one's crushed, I see. Compressed air cell, nitrogen, potassium. From saltpeter. Are we back to... Oh, that's charcoal, I see. Let's just flip through here, see if there's anything that looks familiar. Hello. Aluminium from 29 lazurite. So if we have 11 empty cells in here, and I believe lazurite dust is lapis lazuli, that we can macerate maybe. I shall have to have a look at that. We can get 3 more. There's some pyrite, calcite, sodalite. That's sodalite ore, which you mostly use to get aluminium anyway. That is flint dust. What was a way you could get that? What does that even make? Compressed air and silicon. I'm not sure what you can use silicon for. I think it's used in a couple of different GregTech recipes, naturally. Potassium, don't stare at that while it's on fire. Cinnabar gives you sulfur and mercury. Mercury, I think, is a boiler fuel. Sphalerite, sulfur and zinc. Oh, 8 aluminium from 12 bauxite. Damn. had my hopes up there. And a tiny pile of titanium as well. Oh, that could be useful, actually. If we can get a hold of some bauxite dust, or a number of bauxite bees, we might be able to start making titanium and aluminium, which is a couple more things that we need. Platinum and tungsten being the next ones among them. Some more aluminium there. Suddenly we have found basically everything that makes aluminium. Okay, green sapphires to sapphire dust, which you then apparently put right back into it. Emerald dust, some aluminium, some beryllium, some silicon, and some compressed air. This is now just me staring through all of these recipes to see if I can find something useful. But I think I'm going to have to go back to the bees. Bit not much done, really, for the day, but I hope you enjoyed it. So I shall catch you all next time, when hopefully I have some capacity to actually build something. Anyways, see you in a bit. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or a favorite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now, catch you later.